My husband Elmer and I founded the museum, which means we started this museum. We took some money that we were saving to make a down payment on a house. We took money that we were using to buy food because we thought that a museum like this that would help to preserve our history, to show the ways those people fighting to make sure that this world recognizes that we're all human beings, we all deserve to be free. So I want to welcome you to the museum. My husband Elmer is no longer living. He died in 2001, but this museum meant so much to him because our young people in particular meant so much to him. He would want you to learn, want to love and respect one another.
Hello everyone, my name is Imani Morris. Today I'll be sharing information about a famous civil rights leader, Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was born Rosa Louise McCulley on February 4th, 1913 in Tuskegee, Alabama. Her parents separated when Parks was only 2. Parks' mother moved the family to Pine Level, Alabama to live with their grandparents. Both of Parks' grandparents were formerly enslaved and strong advocates for racial equality. The family lived on the Edwards farm where Parks would spend her youth. Taught to read by her mother at a young age, Parks attended a segregated one-room school in Pine Level, Alabama that often lacked adequate school supplies such as desks. African American students were forced to walk to the 1st through 6th grade schoolhouse, while the city of Pine Level provided bus transportation as well as new school buildings for the white kids. She later married her spouse, Raymond Parks, at the age of 19. He was 10 years older than her and was a longtime member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, also known as the NAACP. Raymond and Rosa, who worked as seamstresses, became respected members of the Montgomery's large African American community. Coexisting with white people in a city governed by Jim Crow laws was filled with daily frustrations. Blacks could attend only certain schools, could only drink from certain water fountains, and could borrow books only from the Black Library, among with many other restrictions. Rosa joined the Montgomery chapter of NAACP and became chapter secretary. She worked closely with chapter president E.D. Nixon, who was a railroad porter known in the city as an advocate for blacks who wanted to register to vote. During this time, voting rights were very prominent. They made it almost impossible for blacks to vote by having poll taxes and literacy tests. On Thursday, December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks made her mark in history. Parks was commuting home from a long day at work at the Montgomery Fair department store by bus. Black residents of Montgomery often avoided buses if possible because they found the Negroes in back policy so demeaning. Segregation was written into laws. The front of the Montgomery bus was reserved for the white people and the seats behind them for the blacks. At one point on the route, a white man had no seat because all of the seats in the designated white section were taken. So the driver told the riders in the 4 seats of the first row of the colored section to stand, in effect adding another row to the white section. The 3 others obeyed, but Parks did not. Parks wrote in her autobiography, "People always say I didn't give up my seat because I was tired, but that isn't true. I was not tired physically, no. The only tired I was tired of giving in." Eventually, 2 police officers approached the stopped bus, assessed the situation, and placed Parks in custody. On December 5, 1955, Parks was found guilty of violating segregation laws, given a suspended sentence, and fined $10 plus $4 in court costs. Meanwhile, black participation in the boycott was much larger than anyone anticipated. Members of the African American community were asked to stay off city buses the day of Parks' trial in protest of her arrest. People were encouraged to stay home from school or work, take a cab, or walk to work. The Montgomery bus boycott was a huge success, lasting for 381 days. Some segregationists retaliated with violence. Black churches were bombed, and both Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and E.D. Nixon's home were destroyed by bombings. The violence didn't stop the boycotters or their leaders. However, the drama in Montgomery continued to gain attention from the national and international press. In June 1956, the district court declared Jim Crow laws unconstitutional. On November 13, 1956, the Supreme Court ruled that the bus segregation was unconstitutional. The boycott ended December 20th, a day after the court's written order arrived in Montgomery. Parks, who had lost her job and experienced harassment all year, became known as the mother of the civil rights movement. Rosa Parks later died October 24, 2005, at the age of 92. Her legacy will always remain as the First Lady of the Civil Rights. Thank you for listening.